what are the things called? What is it? GIF? What is it called? Like the little...
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's not a picture. It's like a video, but it's just like really short.
GIF. I have no idea. I'm not that,
anyway, yeah,
I'm not
know
that technical. I'm not that lingo. I don't get it.
Anyway, and there was like it was like
I'm more about memes.
Memes.
Welcome everybody to the Bob and Katie Show.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Bob.
So I need to talk first this time.
Again with the talking first?
No, I didn't talk first last time. We'll take turns. It's my turn.
Okay.
I need to talk about your car.
What about my car?
I rode in your car. I don't ride in your car very much. So your car is not our family car. Your car it gets you back and forth to work.
Yeah, it's a beater.
Your car is small.
It is.
But we went out today, just the two of us, and so I rode in your car, and we pulled up to a stoplight.
Okay.
And we were behind a car, and you stopped, a safe distance back, and your car, it didn't stop. And you were like, oh, this just happened.
Were you? Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
No, you were like, I thought you were just not holding the brakes down all the way.
Mm-hmm.
You have your foot on the brake, but your car can still roll.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what you were doing. I thought you were playing a joke on me. You're like, no, I'm really pressing the brake right now. And the car's like, it's not moving fast.
It's very, very, very slow.
It's just a subtle inching forward.
I would even not even say inching. I would say centimetering. Centimetering.
I don't know. It was enough
forward.
that it was noticeable. I was like, we're moving right now.
Well, that's why.
That's not safe.
It was fun. We didn't get hurt.
It's not safe.
But did you die?
There's something wrong. Like, thank God we don't put our children in that thing.
All right, look. First of all, I don't need you making fun of my car. That car gets me back and forth to work almost every day. It's my means of transportation. It is where I listen to my podcast. It's where I eat lunch. I've taken a nap in that car.
A nap?
A nap. I don't sleep well when I'm not I don't sleep well in my bed, much less anywhere else. But, that's my baby. It's my joy. That's my car. It's got some things wrong with it. And
look,
you know what?
I don't have room to talk.
Yeah, your truck ain't no gym either.
Okay. The past couple weeks, nobody really knows this except for you. I've been like crazy stressed out, like crazy. Like I'm on the verge of losing my sanity and I tears, anger, all, like stress. And this has been part of our stress recently.
The vehicles, yeah.
We've had more than our fair share of car troubles over the, recent times. But we are actually going to be getting a new car very soon.
Which is actually kind of a milestone for us. We've been married for 8 years.
8.5 years.
8.5 years. And we've never, bought a car together. When I say bought a car, I mean, go down the street, meet some guy off Craigslist and pay $1,000 for a beater. But I mean, we've never gone to a car lot.
Our last,
and financed a car together.
The truck I have right now, I've been driving it for 10 years.
I paid for most of it, but you financed
it. So I actually bought it before we were married.
Yeah.
We were dating at the time whenever I bought it. And then, there was a car that you bought. Mm-hmm. It was not new. It was used, but it very newer.
Right.
But that was complete. You were like, hey, I'm doing this. And I was like, okay.
But yeah, we've never bought a car together and we're going to do it soon. I'm excited.
But that in itself, car shopping is very stressful.
It is.
You're talking about lots of money, lots of commitment. Anyway, that in itself is stressful, but it's very, very much a necessity for us because, like I said, your car doesn't stop when you hit the brakes. But then
all right, now, when you say it like that, you're confusing people because it does stop. I stop at least a car length or two.
No, the definition of stop is you don't move anymore. And your car still moves.
But I mean, it's not... I'm not going to hit anybody.
But
I want to talk to you about that anyways. I want to talk to you real quick. We try to plan out what we're doing, right? And we know that we're going to go get a new car. And we were talking about maybe selling your truck and my car, and I'll get another little with that money, I'll get another little beater to drive back and forth to work. I think
Perfectly logical to.
I think I just want to.
Did I just say logical?
Logical.
It's perfectly logical.
I think I want to keep my car. I mean, I know it's got some bumps and bruises, and I get that.
Well, we have to get rid of. We have to.
Yeah, one of them's got to go.
We have to retire our family vehicle, which is my truck. Mm-hmm. Thank God we have had it, because it was big enough to accommodate our family. And we, like you said, we've been talking about selling it. I'm like, I can't talk. I'm like stumbling all over my words.
You're about to cry over a car. It's a car.
In the world. I'm going to be really sad.
I know you are.
I've had for 10 years. I'm kind of attached.
You get sad over anything.
Like, we were talking about selling it, and I'm like, oh my God, nobody's going to want to buy this piece of crap.
Yeah, they're probably not.
It drives, but...
Barely.
Like, we started discussing, you're like, oh, there's not that much wrong with it. And I was like, yeah, it's little things. It's not like, oh, it doesn't have an engine. It's little things, okay?
How about we do this? Let's do this. What's wrong with your truck?
Like, okay.
Can you give me some examples?
Okay, the CD player works.
Oh, I forgot about the CD player.
Okay. But when you try
Wait, hang on. Okay, I need everybody to pay attention to what's fixing to happen because I've never seen this before. Tell us about your CD player.
You've never seen it.
Like with any other vehicle. Like I've seen it in our car.
Oh, I was like, you've seen it plenty of times. Our CD player, it works. It plays just fine. But when you hit eject to eject the CD out.
It's like a game.
It's, you've got to be really, really fast because it doesn't just, eject it all the way. It ejects it part of the way. So the CD
it's like half an inch.
It just
comes out.
Barely peeks out to say hello. And then it just
it sucks it back in. So you gotta use two hands. You gotta use one hand to hit the eject button, and the other hand's gotta be waiting by the crack, that the CD goes in. Most people are going, why are they listening to CDs?
Who listens to CDs anymore?
But yeah, it's got a tape player too. But yeah, you hit that eject button and the CD pops out just a little bit. You gotta grab that thing and you gotta pull it too.
You have to be like lying you have to be lying in wait. You have to be like a hunter stalking its prey. And Lord knows you can't do this while you're driving down the road. Way. If you have a CD in there, it's in there till you make a stop because you need two hands and, you gotta be really fast and it usually takes a few tries. So there's that.
Okay, there's that. What else you got going on with that truck?
Well, the airbag light came on years ago.
That's fine. We don't have any use for the airbags.
It was like an issue, I think, with wiring.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Sensor.
It's not the light that's the issue. I got you.
Anyway, it was a minor thing, and I never got it checked out. I was always like, maybe we should get that checked out someday. Who needs airbags?
It's funny how you don't think about this stuff when you're not in the car. Okay.
But, so anyway, the light's on for
years.
2 years.
Years. That light's been on for a long time.
A couple years.
It ain't bothering me. I'm going to put a sticker over it.
Well, what you don't think about is what happens when the little bulb that, illuminates the thing burns out.
The car starts to panic.
The car has a way of letting you know.
It does.
It's the car's way of letting you know is it will beep 25 times when you crank up the car. I've counted because I'm like, I need to know so I can count them down. It just goes
beep, 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 beep. And it doesn't stop there. So after the 25th time, it doesn't do it anymore.
It stops. Yeah, you're like, okay.
For 30 minutes.
Yeah, so if you're traveling for more than 30 minutes,
it does it again. Yeah, every 30
minutes, it beeps 25 more times.
Okay, what else?
So, we'll be driving and we're like, oh, we've been in the car for 30 minutes.
The car's screaming at us. All right, what else you got?
Well, it smells kind of funny because there's some sort of leak. It's leaking water, like when it rains. Water is leaking in.
It comes inside the car, yeah.
Somewhere.
I think it's coming from the roof. You had a great idea. I think it's coming from the roof.
Well, I don't know where it's come from, but all I know is the driver's side seatbelt gets wet. The passenger side floorboard gets wet. Mm-hmm. And the truck starts misfiring. And for anybody who doesn't know what it's like when your car misfires, you wonderful, fortunate people out there that have good running vehicles,
yeah.
It feels like your car's jumping.
Our truck, when it's hot and sunny outside, runs fine.
Oh, it's fantastic.
But if it rains, it goes.
So, you can't really drive it when it rains.
Oh, what about the stuff peeling off on the doors? That all happened at once, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't even know what that's called.
It's just like, on the
Like a cloth.
on the doors, it's like around where like the handle and everything is at. It's like a cloth
It
section. And I think one summer when
got really hot.
it was unusually hot, and
They
like,
all fell off.
it's like the adhesive that held these pieces of cloth on the doors, like,
For years.
it melted or something. I don't know, but we like stuck them back on, and they've all stuck except for the one
In
where
the back.
it's in the back on the passenger side, which is where we always put Reagan. I don't know why we always put Reagan on the passenger side. Riley goes on the driver's side in the back seat. And it's so this piece of cloth, it's just like hanging down. And if you touch the door where it was, it's like this sticky,
it's gross.
foamy, just gross stuff that you don't want to like get on your clothes or anything. So it's just, and of course it doesn't look very attractive. Our floor mats don't match the interior of our car. The interior of our car is like tan. And the floor mats, we had floor mats that matched, but I mean, I've had the car 10 years.
Yeah.
And my brother, I don't even know why. I don't know why he gave us these floor mats. They're
That's right. Yeah, he gave us the floor mats.
They're super nice. They're like really expensive, really nice floor mats, but they don't match. They're gray. But I was like, whatever.
Throw them in there. They're fine.
I don't care.
Oh, speaking of not matching, the passenger side seat. It has got like that red tint to it now.
You drove the truck one day. This has been years ago.
To work.
And you came home. And it was the next time we went to go somewhere together.
Yeah.
And we were about to get in the car. And you said something to the effect of, don't be mad.
Don't be mad. Don't be mad.
You were like, don't be mad.
Don't be mad.
And I was like, oh God, what did you do? And you were like, I kind of spilled sweet and sour sauce on the back of the passenger seat. And I was like, how do you spill sweet and sour sauce, not on the seat part, the back, like where your back would rest against the seat.
Yeah.
On the passenger side.
It was,
how did you...
I can explain it, actually. It was 2010, believe it or not. I know the year, because it was, when I first started working in the company I'm with now. I go get some Chinese food, and I'm gonna sit in my car, because I lived, 50 minutes away, so that's where I was gonna have my lunch. And it came in one of those white foam containers, you know what I'm talking about? And I had it sitting in the seat. And I had
the clamshell?
Yeah,
lid?
yeah. Well, I had the thing of sauce on top of it, and I guess it popped open. And when it did, it just said, and I had the sauce open. And it hit the seat like this, just sideways, and all the stuff poured out. And I was like, Katie's gonna chop my feet off.
So, I mean, the truck wasn't in that bad a shape back then.
No, it was only 6 years old at the time. Now it's like 15.
It's a 2004.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
So, so there's a lovely red stain down the back. I mean, there's many various stains now. So now that we've picked on my truck, which, hey, the old girl, she's done very good. I'm proud of her, okay? Let's talk some more about your car.
My car?
Let's talk some more about your car. It's the newbie in the family. And I use that term very lightly.
We've had it for a short amount of time, but it's actually an older vehicle.
Yeah, it's actually older than my
truck. It's a 2001. It has some problems.
So your car, like brand new, your car would have been really nice.
Oh yeah, like the taxes on my car are more than yours because theoretically, my car is actually, it's supposed to be a really expensive car.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be really nice.
It's not worth much now.
So like your car has a sunroof.
It
which
does? Does it
I'm
open?
super jealous of because I want a sunroof.
Well, you know what?
But your sunroof.
The sunroof on this car is not supposed to open, but it's got like this, like flap that you put your hand in and you can pull it back so that you can see through the sunroof. But that doesn't close anymore. So the sunroof is always visible. It's always open.
Yeah, the like visor part.
Right.
I don't know what that's really called.
Then, you know what? The sunroof was supposed to open because there's this other compartment up above my rearview mirror. And that whole contraption has fallen out and it's not there anymore. And I think there's supposed to be a motor in there that controls it. So there's that. The paint job is demolished.
It's atrocious.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Really, really bad.
The sun tore it up. Like you said, the car doesn't stop completely. I mean, I have an emergency brake if I start to get too close to somebody. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
My window.
It kind of stops.
My window is having some issues right now, which is It's
no going through the
inconvenient.
drive-through. For
Yeah, I can't go through drive-thrus anymore. I can't do any of that. And what's inconvenient is that it's been so cold lately. My window, after about 10 minutes of driving, starts to come down.
Which sucks because you don't have
Centimeter.
heat. The heat doesn't work.
I found out the heat doesn't work in my car, which hasn't been a big deal. I've had the car for a year. I didn't know the heat didn't work because I don't ever use the heat, even in the wintertime. The only time that I use my heat at all is when I get like ice on the windshield. I go down there and crank it up. Well, I did that for the first time like a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago. And I came back up here. When I went back down, my windshield was still frozen. I was like, what in the world? Yeah, the car doesn't get hot. No
Don't
heater.
pour boiling water on it.
So I just start scraping the ice off.
You're not going to ask how I know that? I mean, other than I guess it should be.
Oh, didn't your brother do that to your car?
My very first car, my windshield was icy one morning, and I was driving. At this time, I had already graduated from high school, and I was driving my little brother and my sister to school. And
You can say their names. That's Rocky and Carrie. That's fine.
We were probably running late or something. I don't know. Anyway, we were waiting for the car to warm up and the windshield to defrost. And my brother was like, oh, I'll just heat up this water on the stove to boiling and just pour it on the windshield that has ice on it.
Yeah.
And so the windshield cracked. For anybody who doesn't know,
Of course
that's what will happen.
That's what happens.
Luckily, it wasn't like super, super bad. And it was like down at the bottom. I drove it like that anyway.
The crazy thing about that is your brother
is now a mechanic.
He is, and
he works on cars.
He's very good. Like
he was a kid.
Yeah,
when
he was
this
a kid.
happened.
I don't know hardly.
I was like 17, so he would have been 12. He didn't know any better.
Wait, so you were 17 and he was 12? I didn't know that. When this happened?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not his fault. Are you telling me you were 17 years old and you let a 12-year-old pour hot water on your windshield?
I didn't know.
Oh, you didn't know. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not like I told him to do it.
But yeah, he's a mechanic now, and he's very good. Like I call him constantly and go over
as
there.
much car trouble as we have.
Every time I show
every
up,
time my brother's phone rings and it's either of us, he's probably like, "Oh crap, what are they going to have me doing now?" We
went over there a week or so ago for your dad's birthday, and like that's what we went over there for. And it kind of calmed down at one point. I was like, "Hey, Rocky,
so I got something I need
you want to come look at my car real fast? Because it's bouncing. I don't know why it's bouncing." But I don't know. I think my car can make it back and forth to work for another year. I think it'll be good to go.
Regardless, we will be investing in a new to us vehicle. It's a struggle for us because both of our vehicles are paid for. We don't have a car payment, and we like not having a car payment. It's awesome
not having a car payment.
So I don't know.
But I kind of like the thought of waking up in the morning and going, I'm going to make it work today.
I'm not having to worry. I wonder if I'm going to be able to make it in.
Can I switch subjects on you?
Yeah.
I want to tell you
I think I'm done picking on our cars.
I want to tell you what happened to me on Facebook. Because
What happened to you on Facebook?
I don't talk about Facebook too often.
Facebook.
It's kind of funny. And after saying that joke, I just realized that you know what I'm talking about. So some other people out there in the world will get it. I'm always trying to find ways to get our podcast out in the world further because it's a hard thing to do.
I know, like in this day and age of digital everything, everybody has a blog, a podcast, a website, a Facebook page, an Instagram, a Twitter, everything. It's hard to get your name out there for I don't care what you do. It's hard to get your name out there. And
it's like people that have babies. They all think that what they're doing is amazing. Everybody's like, isn't my baby so cute?
What? 'Cause it is.
And sometimes you don't have a cute baby. Sometimes you don't. And you don't know that because it's your baby. And it's kind of like that with podcasting and whatnot.
I wouldn't know what that's like when my kids are freaking cute.
Well, I mean, like, we're not talking about our kids, we're talking about the podcast. I think our show is really funny. But we don't know.
Do you think there's somebody listening to it right now going,
like, there's somebody, there's people
crap.
that might not even make it to this part of the show because they're like, it's 5 minutes in, they're like, no, I'm not listening to this.
I don't think so.
Anyways, I'm trying to find ways to get our name out there more because there's really only two ways you can do it. One, the people that listen to it have to share it. That's a number one thing. Podcasting is done by word of mouth. That's how your show gets bigger. If you laughed one time.
We know that there's people listening to this and downloading it.
Yeah. And you're not sharing it with people. Yeah. Shame on you. Okay, so we're jumping around a lot. Let me get back to this Facebook thing real quick. one of my thoughts was I'll go to different groups, right? I'll find some comedy groups, things like that, and I'll try to reach people that way.
Okay. It's not a bad thought.
Right? It's not a bad thought.
No,
So
you do have some good ideas occasionally.
this is what I searched on Facebook. I searched funny, the word funny. I'm looking for groups and I hit the little group tab and I found a group that the title was Kinda Funny. So I said, cool, poof, let me join. I had to wait for somebody to approve me, right? That's when things got weird. Things got weird almost immediately.
So this is a private group. Like, is this a group with a lot of members?
Oh yeah, there's like over 6,000.
Are we going to get people like boycotting us on Facebook or something because you're talking about their group?
Maybe. It might happen. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. One of the first things that happens is I immediately go, hey, I have a comedy show. Check it out. And I post it. And a guy named Wesley immediately messaged me and says, hey, this is cool, but we actually have a day, which is Sunday, scheduled for if you have stuff you want to promote, do it on Sunday.
Okay, that's cool.
It is. And I intentionally overreacted. And it's weird the way that I think. I made a big deal out of it. You know what I mean? On purpose. Not because I'm a jerk, just because I was like, hey, look at me. I'm trying to get attention. And then I eventually actually told the guy, Wesley, he was a really cool guy, by the way, that I told him what I was doing. And it's cool. But I stayed a part of the group. But some weird things happened. They would
So
constantly...
wait, you told this guy that you're like, I'm intentionally going to overreact to your statements and
No.
jerk.
He sent me a private message.
Oh, okay.
He was an admin and I was getting ready to get
So you
banned.
intentionally overreacted
Just to draw attention to myself.
in the private?
No, on the group.
Okay.
Yeah, and he sent me a private message going, hey.
You need to chill out.
So, but he was a cool guy. Well, I went ahead and stayed a part of the group. And people would put funny pictures up, things like that. What would you do if you won $1 million? Blah, blah. Just really weird and random stuff.
Okay.
But there was some other things that kept getting put up that I was like, what is this? A lot of people would put up pictures of the same guys and make memes out of them. And I'm like, who are these people?
Was it One Direction?
No, it was just, to me, in my opinion, it was random guys because I didn't know them. And then everybody started calling each other best friends. And I was like, this is kind of cultish, really, the way that it felt. Like
It's got a little bit of a culty vibe.
It did. And like people were like, hey, best friends. And like people said that a lot. And I was like, this is weird. This is strange. But you know what? There was some funny stuff.
I'm trying to be your best friend.
And I'm trying to wait till Sunday because I want to post our show. Well, finally I broke the silence. Somebody said something about, hey, did you see what Greg said to Colin or something like that? And I've heard these names over and over and over again in this group. So I said, hey, don't judge me, but who are these people that everybody keeps talking about? And you would...
Oh, you are not a best friend.
And that's really what happened. You would think I set a small puppy on fire. That's the kind of attention that drugged me. Within minutes, I had 80 comments on that question. So apparently, Kinda Funny isn't a funny group. It is actually a fan group of a video podcast called Kinda Funny.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
See where,
and the people in this group, obviously.
So it's not just Kinda Funny. It's Kinda Funny.
And somebody said this, somebody that commented on, I don't know who you are, but they were like, yeah, I guess the title is kinda vague. Because I thought it was just a joke or like a group where you would go into and like post funny things.
Yeah. Easy mistake, I guess.
It was like I was a cancerous lump in like a beautiful body. That's what I felt like.
A beautiful body.
I had people that were like commenting saying, we don't believe you. I had one guy say, what are you doing here? Like, I mean, like it was stuff like that. Everybody was real nice.
Like, it reminds me of the scene of like Beauty and the Beast where like all the townsfolk have their pitchforks and they're like, kill the beast.
But I think I was a part of that group for maybe
the beast, he isn't so bad.
maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And I would just see stuff every now and then. I'm like, this is weird. Why does everybody keep referring to each other as best friends? But I'm going to check this stuff out, I guess, because obviously
so you still don't know the deal about why they call everybody calls each other best friends?
I'm assuming it's something to do with the video podcast. It's kind of like, I listen to Tell 'em Steve Dave, and they call all of their listeners aunts. I'm assuming it's something like that.
Oh.
But Kinda Funny has a Patreon page as well. They are doing a lot better than we are. That being said...
But hey, at least we have something now.
I'm very excited.
We have
got
2 patrons.
We got our first 2 patrons, and I'm gonna give them a shout out.
Very, very exciting.
JT and Corey. They're actually friends of mine. I worked with both of them, and you know what that means now, right? I've pulled in 2 people.
That means all your coworkers need to give us money.
No, you need to go. You need to go get some people now.
I don't have any coworkers.
You got little ones. Oh,
they don't have any money.
But anyways, I actually did think it was kind of funny. Believe it or not, and I'm gonna check it out. But,
now, if only we could insert the but don't.
Maybe I can find one and put it in here.
It was kind of funny.
So, Patreon. Segue. You like that segue? That's pretty good, wasn't it?
Not smooth.
Go check out our Facebook page. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, but if you go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Bob and Katie Show, up at the top, we've got the link pinned where you can go to Patreon.
Did you put anything on our website? Do you have the link on our actual website?
I have no idea.
What? You're supposed to be on top of that.
Do you know how much of this stuff I deal with? Oh my, I don't remember. It's on our Facebook page for sure. Go to our Facebook page.
Yes, it is pinned at the top of our Facebook page.
This is what we're asking for. $1. That's it.
Please, sir. Just $1.
We need 100,000 of you to donate $1. And we don't have 100,000 listeners. So I need you to go a step further. Go share it and find us some more listeners, and you all donate $1.
But, you know, sharing is free.
It is.
And
sharing
is caring.
I don't know how I'm supposed to respond to that. But, we do have sort of a reward.
Oh gosh, I forgot all about this.
We have two patrons right now.
I can't believe you're exploiting my weaknesses.
I am. As soon as we get to 10, I am going to make a video of Katie trying to wink.
The keyword is trying. Because
she can't do it.
I'm not very good at it. In fact, I'm really, really bad.
Has anybody ever seen it but me?
I know Megan has, because she actually, she posted something on my Facebook a while back, and it was like celebrities that were trying to wink.
Mm-hmm.
What are the things called? What is it? GIF? What is it called? Like the little...
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's not a picture, it's like a video, but it's just really...
GIF, I have no idea. I'm not that technical, I'm not that lingo, I don't get it.
Anyway, and there was
I'm more about memes.
Memes. It was like 10 or so, and it was like different celebrities that also wink really bad.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I don't know.
If you want to know what it's like when Katie winks, there's 2 things you can do. One, you can go be a patron. Donate anywhere from $1 to $1 million. Up to you. Completely up to you. $1 million is fine. We're okay with it. And once we get to 10 people, I'll make the video. And if you can't do that for some reason, try to picture, I don't even know how to describe it. Imagine someone who has absolutely no control over their facial features, and then you tase them at the same time. That's kind of what it looks like. So I have something I'm really excited about.
Okay.
I'm going to change up the Bob O'Clock News a little bit.
Are you?
Yeah. You ready for it?
I guess.
Here it goes. The Bob O'Clock News.
Welcome to the Bob O'Clock News.
I found an interesting article, just like I always do. But instead of telling you what the article is, I'm going to give you a small amount of information, and then I'm going to let you decide how it ends. And then I'll tell you if you're right or wrong. It's going to be multiple choice, so it's kind of like a quiz.
Okay. As long as it's multiple choice.
It is multiple choice.
I choose C.
You haven't heard C yet.
D, all of the above.
There's not a D, but I should have put one in there. There should have been all of the above. That would have been awesome. So we'll give it a shot. I'm going to go over it with you, and then you just tell me if you don't understand, okay? This is a true story. It's completely true.
All right.
A Pennsylvania family throwing a sweet 16 party for their daughter.
Oh, gosh. Lord only knows how that ended.
When the unthinkable happens. So, what happened? Was it A, it pooped? I'm sorry, no.
What?
Let me try again.
What?
Hey, it's my... It's like people just pooping all in the backyard of the party.
No, I was thinking of like the birthday girl. She's just like...
You know, I can't read, and I wrote this stuff like this is me. Like, I'm not even reading an article. Like
I just pictured like the birthday girl, like, you know, she's dressed up in some pretty dress, you know, her hair and makeup, and she's looking all nice, and like she's like pooping in the middle of the yard or something. Like,
okay, let me try again.
Explosive diarrhea.
Let me try again. So what happened? Was it A, it rained poop?
Oh.
B,
Oh gosh.
a naked clown ran through the backyard? Or C,
God, I hope not.
a truck full of chickens crashed in the front yard? Now, you are allowed to ask me one question about each one of these.
I don't even know what I would...
To try to, like, figure out, you know, I don't know, I guess. So you can start with A.
Was it an indoor party? An outside party? Like, if it rained
Is that
poop,
your question?
does that mean if it rained poop, like outside?
It was
like
an outside
from
party.
The sky?
You've wasted that question. Outside party. Yep. I guess it's not a waste of a question. They gave you some information. Yeah, outside. So B, a naked clown ran through the backyard. What's your question?
God, I hope that's terrifying. Like, that's the things that nightmares are made out of. That I hope that poor girl didn't have that happen at her party. It wasn't a truck full of chickens.
Well, you didn't ask me a
party?
question. You got to ask me a question.
I don't know
about
what am I supposed to ask you about a naked clown?
that. Whatever you want to ask me.
Clowns can't be naked.
This one was naked.
That's just wrong. Clowns can't be naked.
Is that a question?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Was he wearing his big clown shoes?
He was not wearing big clown shoes, but he was holding balloon animals.
Balloon animals.
And C, a truck full of chickens crashed in the front yard.
Did they die?
Not all of them. Those are your questions. So, which one do you think is true?
Okay, I'm gonna eliminate B because I'm just hoping that's not it, because
Okay.
that's just too much.
The naked clown?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh. Have you ever... Never mind. I think I was about to say a very discriminating remark about clown folk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's not go there. For all we know, some clown folk might be listening to the show.
I don't know. I don't know. But I guess I can believe that a truck full of chickens crashed in the yard before I can believe it just rains poop out of the sky. But so I kind of want to pick A because I almost like it's the least logical, but I want to pick that one. So I'm going to go with A.
A.
Because it makes no sense.
So you think, what you're telling me right now is you think it rained poop.
Somehow, some way, I don't know.
Well, I'm here to tell you, you are absolutely correct.
It did rain poop?
Good job.
I have faith in the poop.
High five. Look at you.
Wait, I don't know. I'm a lover of poop stories, I guess.
So there was a birthday party, Sweet 16, and what happened were there were 5 planes going overhead, and one of them...
Did they drop blue icicles?
One of them released the bathroom stuff, and it hit the party.
Oh.
Isn't
Was it
that
like, was it
magical?
frozen or it wasn't frozen?
They said that some of it was frozen. How did you know that?
I watch TV.
Is that your answer? I go outside and talk to people sometimes.
I don't know. I've heard about it on TV, like where planes
Yeah,
like they'll
they said-
release, and it's frozen.
They said something about some stuff being frozen. I was like, that's weird. But yeah, I saw like, they had one of those pop-up tents in the backyard and they took a picture of it and there was like brown spots all over it. Oh, that's pretty gross.
That's disgusting. Man, that was a sweet 16 to remember. That poor girl. I bet she probably had to like transfer schools. Like, how do you go back to school and like all your friends were like, "Hey, were you at
Yeah.
such and such birthday party? It rained poop." It was like a really bad version of Carrie.
That is not a Mile High club you want to be a part of.
Well, you know, the Carrie movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the Carrie movie.
Oh, where you like didn't sit? You were just like staring.
Oh,
blankly.
so I was waiting
You
for
were
you to
like
continue.
staring blankly at me, like you didn't know what I was talking
The
about.
movie where like they poured blood all over her?
Yeah. No, like your expression, you were like, I don't know what she's talking
Oh,
about.
I was waiting for you to keep going. Okay. No, I know
I
what
was
you're
like,
talking
I
about.
guess that was only funny to me.
I do need to ask you something though.
Okay.
I want to talk about this little notebook you have.
My notebook. I can't live without my notebook.
Well, we had a conversation about you trying to bring a little more to the show. And I was like, if you ever have ideas, that notebook you carry around with you, just write it down.
It's just a matter of actually going and getting the notebook and writing it down.
But you did. And I
Yeah, I've been trying to get better about actually making myself go right whenever I think about something and writing it down.
well, I took a peek at your notes here.
if somebody like found my notebook and just looked in there, they would think I was a crazy person.
Well, the first one just says...
But don't be hating on my notebook. That's my life.
No, I'm not hating on it. I'm just, you have two little things written here. And I am so intrigued. I am beyond intrigued because I want to know what you were thinking because I don't understand any of it. The first line says price of text messaging. I don't know what you were thinking of to start that. And then your second one, which is even more
disturbing,
off-putting, really, underwear equality. So I would really...
I knew what I was talking about.
I want you to go through these step by step with me and tell me what this process that you're going through, that you're writing these random things. Like
you want me to explain why I wrote those things down?
I wouldn't be any more surprised if it said tangerine antelope on the next one because that's what it sounds like to me. It's just, it's weird. So price of text messaging.
The price of text messaging.
What in the world could you possibly be thinking about?
I was thinking about back in the day when cell phones, were not as popular as they are now.
Okay.
Cell phone plans were a lot different than they are now. And I know whenever I first got my first cell phone, text messaging, it was a thing, but like you paid... I think my first plan...
For each one.
It's like, for so much, you get like 50 text messages.
I remember that.
And if you didn't have the like plan or whatever...
You paid like a quarter for each message you sent.
It was like 10 cents a piece. And people text nowadays, you'll see...
Could you imagine that?
I can send like 100 texts a day.
I think I have sent probably 20, 30 text messages today.
And it's crazy to see just over the last like 10 years how far it's come. But yeah, I don't remember how much it was, but like I said, my first cell phone plan, I think I paid like, so it was like, I want to say, I'm just going to guess. I think it was around like $10 for like 50 text messages. And then if you went over that, then it was like 25 cents a piece or something. It was crazy. And then I eventually moved up to like 100 text messages a month.
Big timer, balling, 100 text messages.
And, this was before emojis and things. Like, there was,
It was that green screen with, like, the blocked black letters.
It was like, like, for a smiley face, you put the colon and the parentheses, like, smiley face. And I remember, like, somebody's like, oh, look, I can make boobs.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, emojis it's just mind-blowing.
When all the acronyms started coming out.
So, that's what I was thinking about whenever I wrote that.
I remember doing one time when I was working at the tattoo shop. So, I mean, that was a long time ago. I remember texting someone. I won't even say it might have been you. And I remember going, I can't text anymore. And I had to call you because I had reached.
It's unheard of.
Like I had reached those 50 messages and I was like, they're going to start charging me like 10 cents a piece. I just have to call and say what's up.
Nowadays, a lot of people text more than they actually talk on the phone. If cell phone companies are like, we're no longer offering phone service, like voice talk over the phone. Like it's only like text messaging and, all of your apps and stuff. Mm-hmm. But you can no longer use your phone to call and speak to someone audibly. A lot of people would be like, well, that's okay.
That's fine.
Well, like, I know that they already offer like plans like that for like hearing impaired. But I'm just saying, if cell phone companies decided tomorrow you can no longer make telephone calls, a lot of people would be like, no, I don't need it. It's okay.
I would almost be okay with it. There's only certain times that I really want to use the phone. Like if we're kind of lost or if we're almost somewhere, basically in the car. Like sometimes I'll be like, hey, can you call this person real quick? And you like start typing a message and my mind's like, no, I need to know the answer right now. So you're going to type it and then you're going to boing, through, cyberspace, then it's going to land. Then we have to hope that person sees it. And I'm like, I need the answer right now. Could you please just call them? But other than that, I don't want to talk to anybody. So text messaging is fine. I had a friend call me one time and, he goes, hey, what's up? I say, hey, what's up, man? He goes, I'm just sitting here at the house. What do you want? And he goes, I just want to see what's going on. Nothing's going on. This is weird.
Text messaging was invented so you could avoid those awkward, conversations where you don't really have anything to say.
Yeah, but he just wanted to talk. And I was like, that's cool. If you just want to talk, then you call me and go, hey, do you want to go out and have a drink? And then we'll talk when we go out.
Well, like,
But like on the phone, I'm not big on it. I don't like to sit here and talk on the phone. I'm not big on it.
there's certain times where I, just want to talk. There's times I want to call my mom and talk, or, Megan. I talk to Jennifer on almost a daily basis. Jennifer's my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, and we both have 2 small children. Their youngest is only 5 months older than our kids, so we're like always talking about the kids. But anyway, there's times that I just want to talk, but then there's a lot of times where I can't get to the phone.
Sure.
I'm just busy. And let me say, your mom, she's gotten really good about this. Like, a lot of times, if she calls and I don't answer, she'll like text me immediately, and she'll be like, like the other day, she was like, I need your mom's number. And I was in the middle of like changing a poopy diaper or something when she called and I couldn't get to it. And so she, it's like she knows, she's probably busy. And like, she'll just send me a text and let me know what it is that she wants. Or, she's like, can you call me so we can talk about such and such? So like your mom's gotten really good about that. I'm like, yeah, that's what everybody needs to do. If you call me and I don't answer, just text me and let me know, like, hey, do I need to call you back? Or do you just have a quick question? It's text messaging in that respect is super convenient.
Now, I'll give you an example of how I'm not a big let's talk on the phone person. Everyone's heard me, talk about Tim on the podcast. He asks a lot of questions. Last week, he sent us like 60 some questions. I communicate with Tim almost every single day. We go to movies together when we can. I'm like, my schedule is insane with the babies. It's really hard, but, we communicate every single day. We've been friends for a very long time. Do you know how many times I've talked to him on the phone?
No, I don't.
Never.
You've never talked to him?
I have never talked to him on the phone. I communicate with him every day. I have never talked to him on the phone.
Well, me and Megan, my best friend, for anybody who doesn't know, we'll go sometimes, a few weeks without talking on the phone at all. But, we're in constant communication, like text messaging, Facebook, so like we communicate, we know what's going on in each other's lives. And then like, cause we know once we get on the phone, we're going to be on the phone for like 3 hours. And once we get on the phone, we just have a lot to talk about.
When you do get on the phone with Megan, it makes me sick to my stomach. Not because you're talking to Megan, but because most of the time I'm at work.
I'll ignore you.
And like, I'll go to call you or text you or something and you don't respond. And I know
there's been times where I'm like, Megan, I have to go. He's called me like 18 times. He's probably getting upset.
It's not because like I'm controlling or anything like that. It's because you're at home with the babies. It's not like you're out anywhere. Like I knew you were supposed to be here. And then I automatically start thinking all the worst stuff. A marauder's broke into the house. They've taken my family.
I mean, I'm glad you're concerned.
My wife is tied up. Why won't you answer the phone? I left work one time. I was like, I told my boss, I gotta go home. I got some stuff going on. I gotta go home. And I started coming this way. And then you call me back and I'm like, I can't talk right now. And I hung up because I was mad. And you're like, I was on the phone with Megan.
Well, you don't understand. My phone, yes, I have call waiting. My phone will be, call waiting is a very common thing nowadays. Mm-hmm. But my phone, like every time I try to use it, maybe I just don't do it right. There is a button and it says, what is this? It gives you like different options. It's like put your current phone call on hold and answer the call, or you can hang up with the person you're currently talking to and answer the person that's beeping in, and like, so I always try to do put them on hold. Like, say I'm talking to Megan and you call. If I try to like go, okay, hold on, I'm gonna put you on hold, I'm gonna click over.
And it hangs up?
It always hangs up. Every single time.
I've seen that. That's like an IDIOT error.
It's like every single time. What?
Nothing. I'll tell you later.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
What does that mean?
No, it doesn't mean anything.
Are you making fun of me?
Maybe a little bit.
I'm not stupid. I hit the right button. The button, it's like right there, and I hit it, and it still hangs up. So I just give up, and like whenever I'm on the phone and it beeps, I just ignore it.
I get it. So I've
tried to do better. Like if I know, like
you do, you send me a text like I'm on the phone with Megan,
and I'm on the phone,
and when you do that, if you send me a text like I'm on the phone with Megan, I'm like, cool, and I just call you 5 hours later because I know you're gonna be on the phone for a long time. Okay, so tell me about this underwear equality thing.
Okay,
what was that big huff for? Like,
I I knew what I was talking about, and I don't know.
I think the only way you could have my attention anymore is if you had your hands around my throat squeezing.
Okay, so
Like I'm focused. Tell me about this.
So I really like to buy the underwear at Target, like like in the bins, like not the packs of not Hanes or whatever, but like they're like the individual ones, and you can pick. Sometimes they're like, oh, get like 5 for $25 or something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, and I really like those. And the last few times that I've tried to go buy underwear from there, they like never have my size.
All right.
There's these bins full of pretty underwear, and they're like all small and medium. Like obviously there is a breakdown in communication. Ordering something, there's a problem. Either everyone in our local Target's market, nobody wears small or medium underwear.
Okay.
Or nobody that buys them from Target wears small or medium underwear. Or they like never get in anything other than the size.
Okay.
I don't know, but there's never like anything bigger. It seems like it's like I've searched many times. I've like searched all the bins, and there's never any my size. And I don't understand why is it full, but it's all freaking smalls. Okay. Why? It's not fair. I feel like it's discrimination.
I feel like I'm seriously waiting for Admiral Akbar to stick his head around the corner of the wall there and just go, "It's a trap." I am not gonna talk.
You're not gonna speculate
or have a conversation with you about the size of your underwear to where people can hear it.
I'm not ashamed. I'm not a small person. I do not wear a size small or a small.
A small smush. You're on a roll tonight.
I don't know why. I obviously do not wear a size small or medium.
Right.
But I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed of that.
Yeah.
I want to buy pretty underwear, and first of all, Victoria's Secret doesn't sell my size, so that's a no-go.
They don't. Yeah.
They don't.
Mm-hmm.
But I really I like the ones at Target.
I think this might be the most uncomfortable conversation I've ever had with you on mic.
Hey, you asked.
I did. I asked.
In my personal notes.
I know. I'm just like, cause you know how like wrapped up I get in these conversations, and then I'm end up spitting some out like, oh, they ain't got no fat girl underwear, and then we gonna get off where I'm at stop, and then you're gonna look at me with those eyes, you know the eyes I'm talking about, them eyes like, I hope you think the couch is comfortable, because this fat girl gonna sleep in the bed by herself.
The proper term is curvy.
Curvy?
Or we'll go with pear-shaped.
Yeah. Pear-shaped? Whatever it is, you rocking it. You get it, girl.
I just can't buy underwear at Target.
They missed.
So yeah, that's what the underwear equality was about.
Nice.
It was just something I was thinking about.
Okay, so just to recap, we've talked about crappy cars. We've talked about Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. Thanks again, JT, Corey. When we get to 10 patrons, we're going to put up a wonderful video that only the people, this is very important. You will not see this video unless you are a patron of Katie attempting.
I'm not trying to have it out there for
to wink.
Everybody, the general public. It's so embarrassing.
We talked about rain and poop, right? We talked about your little notebook. We got the text messaging. That was pretty good.
Look, I don't like the tone in your voice when you refer to my little notebook.
I'm sorry. Your little notebook was really funny. I like the underwear quality. It was good. Do you have anything else you want to jump into?
Nah.
We'll wrap it up. Awesome. Bye.
Bye.
Was that okay? I was
what?
So. When you started talking about the underwear, I was like, and I dropped the fat girl line. I was like, man, she's gonna clobber me after doing the show.
I mean, I'm not mad about it. I can't speak for anybody else.
I did the best I could, like not to be like to call you a fat girl. I was like, I gotta figure out. Like,
I'm not ashamed of my underwear size.
I got sweat on my forehead right now. It made me so nervous. I was like, 'cause it's funny, but it ends, and like we have to be married after this podcast is over. Oh my god, we need to get to bed. It's late.
It's funny seeing you sweat though. You're so nervous.
It was nerve-wracking.